Steve breaks ultimate, and it is absolutely hilarious. Hey, get off of there. Ever since his reveal in late 2020, before he was even playable, Steve's inclusion in Smash Ultimate shocked the entire world. However, unbeknownst to anyone, this was only the beginning of his controversy and notoriety in the Smash Bros. Scene. The game-crashing glitches, the meta-altering gameplay, and the torn and divided community, Steve has broken Smash Ultimate at every conceivable facet. Let's speedrun through Steve's bizarre inclusion in Smash, witness the sheer clownery this 2-meter Lego man is capable of, and tackle the question if this mass hysteria was all an exaggeration. There was a whole double chest worth of glitches Steve brought into the game. Now, most of these were eventually patched out, but here are a few of my favorites. Steve's specials immediately caused problems with the collision detection of Ultimate. Characters could get stuck inside blocks, and sometimes even fell through the stage. Other setups made it so characters wouldn't be able to interact with blocks at all. Teleporting minecarts, cameras going out of bounds, anvil stuck in the air. Yeah, Steve was nuts. His final Smash cutscene had a few issues right at the end of a match, or when the game was slowed down. And not necessarily a glitch, but Steve would be a little happier than usual during one of his victory screen animations. Wanna see some reptile legs? Well, King K. Rool and Bowser can get stuck inside Steve's blocks, and once the blocks break, they become suspended in the air. Why this glitch was specific to 2 reptilian evildoers is beyond me. But now you can see their fully extended legs in all of their glory. Oh, I'm sorry, I kinda lost my train of thought there. Hey, did you know that Smash is a 3D game? Although the camera angle makes it look like it's 2D, the Z-axis does exist. And yeah, there's a glitch with Steve that screws with it. I mean, why are you looking at me? Ew! When I say Steve broke Smash Ultimate, it wasn't just a cheap attempt to grab your attention so you would click on this video and subscribe. No, Steve literally broke Smash Ultimate to the point where it would crash the game. Using Zoroark and a hammer against Steve got him stuck in the air. And once Zoroark was used again, it crashes the program for some reason. But items weren't the only cause of these shenanigans. Steve hasn't had the best relationship with custom stages. Considering mining terrain is an important part of Steve's gameplay, so much so that the Smash dev team had to rework every single stage for Steve's mining, being able to create weirdly shaped and rapidly moving parts of a custom stage left the game a bit confused. When mining on a curved rotating platform or touching a pointy platform in the stage builder causes Ultimate to crash. If you thought that was crazy, this next glitch is gonna be a blockbuster. Let's talk about what Steve can do that is completely unpacked. Stuff that functions as intended and is tournament legal. Let's do a quick lightning round and talk about a few examples among the long list of Steve's amazing moves. Steve's up tilt is one of the best up tilts in the game. It starts at frame 6 and has only 7 frames of end lag. It's used for starting and extending combos and is extremely safe on shield. His forward smash starts on frame 13 and has little end lag, making it pretty spammable for how powerful it is. And did I mention all of his tools can be upgraded to Diamond? Where they do even more percent and knockback? Now, this is Steve's minecart, which functions as a movement option, a combo starter, a kill setup, a kill move itself, a recovery tool, has knockback-based armor, and is a moving command grab. What else is it gonna start doing my taxes too? And here's the big one. This is Steve's neutral special, which is used to mine, craft, go figure, and place blocks. So many abilities attached to a single move. Hey, we are not talking about you in this video. Mining and crafting are relatively simple in terms of game mechanics, gaining resources to spend on a selection of moves and upgrading tools. But this is where stuff gets weird. These are Steve's blocks, and they can be used to do some interesting things. For its most basic function, Steve is able to create platforms in a platform fighter, along with walls, which help him to, pun very much intended, wall out his opponents.
This is great. Just the 3 of us. You, me, and this brick wall you built between us.
and even interrupt their recoveries. No, why did you have to play that clip, man? An early discovered, predictable, yet strong tactic is to build a wall and mine resources. Then minecart away when your opponent gets close. Then anvil to keep them away from you. Then you do it again, and again, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day.
Hold on, Mr.
Pichu! The next day.
Want to see how Steve can kill at 0% with one move? By standing on a block and then using Steve's down air while it's falling, Steve is completely actionable standing on it. So, as the anvil falls, you grab your opponent and then throw them backwards. They will instantly die. This is caused by the lag an opponent receives when Steve's back throw is interrupted. And yes, Steve can recover from down there. But let's say you want to set up without all the hassle of going off stage. Well, boy, do I have the solution for you. Place a block right near ledge, and that's it. Now you back throw your opponent, and if they miss a tech, they lose their stock. But if they're skilled enough to tech, then they are rewarded with, no wait, they still lose their stock. Maybe you do like being in the air. Well, Steve has an answer for that as well. He can mine in the air and under the stage with blocks. Blocks begin to decay as soon as Steve steps on them. So by placing an anvil or TNT down above it, Steve can effectively stall in the air for as long as he wants, since he can replenish the lost resources by mining the block he is standing on. Also, since stepping on a block counts as stepping on the ground, Steve actually regains intangibility when he re-grabs ledge, which allows for a similar, historic stalling technique. Speaking of previous games, Ultimate has been known to be lacking in terms of movement options. We don't have Melee's wave dashing, or Brawl's dash attack cancel up smash, or Smash 4's perfect pivoting. But at least Steve has some pretty sick movement. By placing a block down, wait, that's it? By placing a block down fast, Steve is able to perform a no-impact land, which is a technique that very few characters are able to replicate consistently and utilize effectively. With platforms he can create on his own. No-impact landing allows Steve to instantly move after placing a block, gaining height at a moment's notice, which enables 0-to-death combos and kill setups by using this tech in tandem with his insane up tilt and powerful up smash. But hold on. The character's base stats aren't exactly the greatest. He has the slowest initial dash and the lowest jumps in the entire game. And his run speed isn't that much better either. He is considered underweight, which is surprising given the amount of minerals he has to carry on a daily basis, but Sephiroth is as light as Kirby's, so. But these stats are attached to a character who has surprisingly fast frame data, insanely powerful moves, and all of this tech, which includes ledge traps, kill setups, 0-to-death combos, movement options, improved recovery, and the ability to stall while mining resources. All these features of Steve's character serve to minimize his core weaknesses while improving his already solid strengths. Hey kid, wanna learn some real Steve tech? Remember earlier when you heard that most of those Steve glitches got patched out? Well, one of them slipped through the cracks, and it's here to stay since in February of 2023, when Ultimate's very last patch happened over a year ago. Wait, a patch literally came out this February. Did they finally remove this glitch from the game? Amiibo support! By utilizing some of Steve's jank with his neutral special, Phantom MLG allows Steve to completely bypass hit stun and even get a counterattack. It's so easy, even Hungrybox can do it. What? Now, all of these things make for some prime entertainment from not only Steve matches, but also the sheer chaos and panic of the community that ensued right from the release of Steve and the developments that followed. Steve was released during the height of the pandemic, so it was difficult for the community to form an initial opinion. Many thought that any jank or broken gameplay was all chalked up to be a product of Nintendo's horrible online services, with some going as far as considering Steve the worst in the game. However, once in-person Ultimate returned, Steve players had enough time to advance the character's metagame. The new wave of results sparked contention among the Smash community.
I would ask who Akola mained before Steve came out, but I don't even think he was born yet, so.
Now, people claiming players are carried by their character choice is nothing new. You guys remember when people were complaining that MK Leo was carried by Ike? But the seemingly instant rise of Steve mains like Jake, Onin, and Aquila put some weight behind the complaints towards Steve in the eyes of many. It didn't help that Steve was a resource-oriented character, which made defensive play favorable. And it wasn't just at the top level. Mid-level Steve players would find success utilizing his insane tech and setups. But even his simplest tactics were still effective as players struggled to adjust to the matchup. With results such as Onin's win at SmashCon 2022,
I went to Taco Bell at like midnight, I got a crunch wrap,
and Aquila's rising in contention as the best player in the world, the question of a ban began to rise. The divide reached a tipping point once PMLG was discovered. A technique that potentially punished players for hitting Steve was surely game-breaking enough to warrant a ban, but some only wanted to ban the technique itself, which was an entire can of worms on its own.
What are the penalties of wrongly accusing someone?
Players
Would you
actually
save
did
the replay and then
This
stop
whole
the
process
entire
would
match?
take up so
What about
much
if you
time
wrongly
stopping
accuse
the
someone
game
of
the
doing
entire
the
match?
task?
Goodbye, everyone. I'll remember you all in therapy.
All of this headache would be prevented by banning the actual character. On top of this, Steve was ranked the #1 fighter in Ultimate according to its first official tier list the very month this tech was discovered. And so Steve was banned in Australia and in the Coinbox, Ultimate's now weekly major online bracket, along with many smaller locals around the world, and even major tournament organizers too. However, I believe the main claim for Steve's ban was contingent on the actual consistency and reliability of the tech.
Is like, I think it's actually useful, I think, himself, but it's too difficult to use it on wild matches, is his opinion.
It's been nearly a year since this tech was discovered, and it is nowhere near as relevant in the meta as people assumed. After noticing the lack of PMLG in regions where Steve was allowed, the bans in most regions have been lifted, and the controversy surrounding the character began to lessen as the days went on. Coinbox now allows Steve once a month, almost like a purge of some kind. But notably, Steve was still banned as recently as Luminosity makes big moves in early 2024. To this day, people will still get up in arms about Steve and complain about a ban, but personally, I enjoy the silly, goofy, and outright hilarity this character offers. The community has dealt with much worse. And in a game as diverse as Ultimate, countless other characters are tournament viable and able to win majors.
Steve is without a doubt the best character in Smash Ultimate, and has broken the game in a very unique way. Steve makes Smash Ultimate an absolute